Hello fellow Star Wars fans, it is Starrapter here, welcome to my channel. Today I'm talking about some Star Wars comics for July 15th. We have Star Wars Adventures, issue number 32 from IDW. This is a milestone because this is the final issue for Star Wars Adventures Volume 1. However, we are getting a Volume 2 in September, I believe. So yeah, it's a pretty big milestone as this was the first take from IDW for the Star Wars franchise. So getting into it, as always, for Star Wars Adventures, we have two stories. The first one is the Battle for Horizon Base. The second one is the Lost Stories Part 3. So let's talk about the Battle for Horizon Base. This is at a location, first of all, which was mentioned in Star Wars Rebels. Well, actually was seen in Star Wars Rebels for an entire episode. It was the episode, I think, in Season 2, where Chopper befriends AP5 after he gets left behind on the Horizon Base. So we are actually in this story in the sequel trilogy era with Finn and Poe, in between the events of the Battle of Crate and the Rise of Skywalker. Leia has sent them to find more volunteers for the Resistance, so they find out about some people that are resisting against the First Order on this platform, and Finn and Poe meet up with these people. It turns out these people do not want to join the Resistance, and they are kind of on their own and want it to be that way. They don't want to be a part of a bigger organization. However, they do pledge their cause for if there is a time when they are needed, so I assume that they may be on their ships during the Battle of Exegol helping the New Republic, or not the New Republic, the Resistance, sorry. So this story also featured a new alien creature called the Kandori, which is very similar to the Rathtar. It's got these tentacles and a big mouth that's eating the stormtroopers, which I thought was really cool. And a big part of the story included a character we haven't seen in a while, and that character is none other than Duquesne. Yes, that is a character we have a backstory on from stealing the Millennium Falcon from Han Solo, so he is part of the Resistance, and Finn is not really wanting to work with this character. So it was cool seeing this guy turn the other leaf, and he is now being somebody of honor, and that was a big part of this issue. The theme for this story in this issue was honor. It was all about, you know, how you make your way through the galaxy, and Finn is giving his backstory and his really great riveting speech, and the same thing with Duquesne, who had a character change. So if anything out of the story, it was that we get a good lesson on honor. So for the other story, as I mentioned, the Lost Stories Part 3, this is with Emil Graf. Remember, this is the tie-in to the whole High Republic era, where he finds some kind of information on this planet that was a big thing in the High Republic. It's this library that holds all this information. He's going there with his droids, with Crater, and with the Quaking Monkey Lizard, and the Ball Droid. And they end up there in the last issue where they get attacked by this kind of vampire creature. So we pick up right from that point. And this is a great way to end Tales of Wild Space, because we get these flashbacks to Emil being in all these locations of all these stories he's heard. You know, from the pod racing on Tatooine to running around on Coruscant with Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's literally being portrayed in these stories that he heard, because obviously this kid lives in the sequel trilogy, so how can he be in there? This vampire creature, the name is very interesting. His name is Tarina, a Crotonian story vampire. Yes, that is in Star Wars canon now. And he is going into the brain of Emil and pulling out these stories for himself to feast upon. So what happens by the end of this story is that Crater reactivates thanks to the Monkey Lizard, and the Monkey Lizard and Crater, they all save Emil, and it's because of Crater feeding all this information to this vampire that distracts him from getting Emil. Emil gets away, but unfortunately he loses his memories. They do thwart this vampire, and they make it away safe from this planet, but it's not without a little bit of loss. And Emil loses his memory of these awesome stories that he was told, but his good thing coming out of the story is, hey, I actually had my first adventure with my friends, and we can actually have more adventures of these to come. So it's this really cool story about how, like, you know, you can lose things, but you make your own story going forward. So to remain optimistic is basically how I thought of what this story's message is in the end. So yeah, that is it for Star Wars Adventures, guys. We had our first foray into this young, kind of all ages type of comic, and my overall thoughts were, I thought they were okay. They were serviceable for the young readers, of course, but I still enjoyed them as almost a 30-year-old at this point. So I thought there was lots of messaging in here that was very uplifting and taught a lot of valuable lessons to the people that are growing up now, but there was also some really cool stuff like them including new things in canon, such as Jackson the Green Bunny. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that creature, but hey, that's cool that they were able to introduce him and Amaza, another character from the classic Marvel series of comics. What did you guys think of the Star Wars Adventures comics? Did you read all of them or try out a couple of them? Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. If you guys are new to the channel, then welcome. I talk about the Star Wars comics whenever they come out. It looks like we are getting a weekly cadence from here on out. Next week we have Dr. Aphra issue number 2 from her volume 2 series, so I'm looking forward to that. Also, if you guys are interested, there is going to be a Dr. Aphra audio drama releasing this upcoming Tuesday, so definitely check that out. It should be awesome. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more on Star Wars. That's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.